Hey guys, this is Tom here, and obviously, with today being very different and very special, I thought I'd do something a little different. Obviously, people are aware that Pokemon Smash announced a new Pokemon for X and Y, and it confirms these rumoured, well, how to say, images of a new Mewtwo, possibly, that was spiraling around the internet that no one was really too sure about. And obviously today, we got confirmation that this new thing is genuine. And obviously, a lot of speculations are already going to go around YouTube and around the entire internet to exactly what it is, who it is, and what's involved. So, let's have a quick breakdown of what we have here. Obviously, it's going to star in the new 16th movie, which is obviously a given, but it starts us off with a good, interesting topic to start with. Obviously, Mewtwo hasn't appeared in a film, Pokemon film specifically, since way back in Generation 2, in the not-so-lost film Mewtwo Returns. And previously, before that, the grand debut of Pokemon movies, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. So already there, we've had 3 generations where Mewtwo hasn't been seen whatsoever. So, it seemed odd when they announced the 16th movie and Mewtwo suddenly reappeared. But given it the idea that it's fighting Genesect, which is a created Pokemon by Team Plasma, and obviously Mewtwo being created by Team Rocket, it seemed like an interesting matchup. But obviously having this new form involved brings up more interesting topics of why it's appeared. I mean, let's have a look. Let's break it down from this angle then. If we're going by movies, as I've already stated about Mewtwo not appearing since Johto, that's at least 3 generations where Mewtwo's been in the unknown. And obviously the official title for this film is Extreme Speed Genesect versus Mewtwo's Awakening. So already it's saying that Mewtwo's going to realise and become more powerful, but it's not specifying how. And obviously this is going to go on through a period between fighting the Genesects, well, the 5 Genesects that there are, and go from there. So already I'm saying the idea of this being a new Mewtwo, well, in the new Mewtwo, Mew3, one of the whatever they are, is less likely than it being an actual new form. Now I could speculate even further by going to something really out of the blue and saying, if you look at the little headpiece, it's similar to the undermarkings of the Genesect's cannon. So possibly that Mewtwo's had a genetic reaction to fighting the Genesects, and there he is. So it's, as much as I dislike the idea of Mewtwo having a new form, less so than him having this being a new Pokemon entirely, since really the only a Pokemon that's really entitled to have a new form, or forms in general, would have been Deoxys, as it made sense. Deoxys really being the original Pokemon, legendary Pokemon, to bring in the forms. As obviously, it's a virus and DNA. So, there. And obviously Generation 4 and 5 and 6 have spun out of control since there. But I digress. Another thing that's interesting to notice is obviously the head, just underneath the weird halo headpiece, is the head tail. And if we have a look at the original Mewtwo structure and compare it to this, it would seem that the Mewtwo's body section, the purple bit, has fallen off, so to say. Well, come apart, and it's connected up to its skull instead. So the tail is now a headpiece, and the remainder of the chest is now the tail. As much as it sounds very confusing and doesn't make much sense whatsoever, it's really down to, can you see that? Another thing, obviously, if this is a new form, so to say, is, well, just how it's structured. Mewtwo's got 3 fingers, 3 toes on each side, and this Pokemon has 3 fingers and 3 toes. And obviously the eyes and the eyes and the facial structure, if you exclude the massive dangly part at the back, is pretty much identical to what Mewtwo's is. Though I do understand people are still going to speculate saying that this is just minor petty things, but at this stage, obviously, since it's all new and up in the air, it's worth speculating, I guess. But if we go to the trailer quickly and seeing its moveset, obviously we can see it's using moves such as Shadow Ball, Psycho Cut, Blizzard, and I believe Giga Impact, maybe? Or something, but it's using very powerful moves across the entire board, so obviously it's gonna know a large variety of attacks from many different types. So obviously it's definitely going to be a psychic type, henceforth why it's appeared as a Mew and looks a lot like Mewtwo. Another thing that's, how can I say, well, not so much intriguing but bugs me is the fact that if it really has been a long time since we've had any new information about X and Y, and last Pokemon info we actually got was Nymphia or Sylveon, which is the newest Eevee evolution, which I still think there is a second new Eevee evolution to come out, but the Nintendo and Gamefreaks are not specifying at the moment and not giving us details, because this would be the first time that, well, Gamefreaks or the Eevee evolution would have had one single evolution appear. Right, well, when it's... Okay, let's try and reword that again. Generation 1, we saw the birth of Eevee and 3 evolutions for it, being the stone evolutions, Jolteon, Flareon and Vaporeon, giving us 4 types of Eevees. In Gen 2, they released 2 others, bringing the total to 6, with Espeon and Umbreon. Then it was till Gen 4 that they released another 2 types, being Leafeon and Glaceon, which are only possible via rock, well, evolving by a specific, well, area, so to say. And now Gen 6 has officially announced 1 type. And this does speculate whether this will be the only Eevee evolution to come out of it, or there's another one in the works that we're not aware of yet, that may or may not appear in the movie as well. But I'm going off track. The key factor is, I personally think that this Pokemon is unfortunately a new form of Mewtwo, as much as I don't want to believe it, and don't see why Mewtwo would need an extra evolution. But with all speculations set aside, it's really just breaking down. It's appearing in the 16th movie, and it's about Mewtwo's awakening against an extremely fast Genesect. So clearly that's already giving us some guidelines to work with. So this may well be Mewtwo's awakened form, more than anything else. Unless a sudden twist of fate is that Mewtwo comes to protect the offspring of a new Mew type that's been buried under the ground, where Ash so conveniently, Ash and friends are so conveniently placed and so conveniently attacked by the Genesects, which are supposedly after. I have no idea, but I'd rather stay with the original idea that Mewtwo has a new form. This is his awakened form, and it's going to boost his speed stat more than it has anything else. But that's for everyone else to speculate, really. This is just my 2 cents. There's not really much else I can say at the moment.